afternoon and welcome to the Des Moines Register Political Soapbox. I'm Carol Hunter, editor of the Des Moines Register. We at the Register believe in civil discourse and also in being Iowa nice. Several of you have heard this spiel by now, but we really are appreciative of the candidates who come and speak to fairgoers, and we ask that everyone give them the courtesy of speaking without interruption. Our next speaker is Marco Battaglia. He's a Libertarian from Des Moines, and he's running for Congress in the 3rd District. Now, the 3rd District is the one that includes Des Moines, South Central Iowa, and much of southwestern Iowa. The incumbent that he's challenging is Republican Zach Nunn. Mr. Battaglia works for the Iowa Department of Corrections. He ran for Attorney General in 2018 and also for Lieutenant Governor in 2022. Please join me in welcoming to the soapbox stage Marco Battaglia.
Thank you so much. Anybody read this book? No? Highly recommend it. You want to take on inflation, the best thing you can do is support Thomas Massey's legislation in the U.S. House. So, it's the state fair, and I promised fireworks. You know what I miss about state fairs? I miss pro wrestling. I invited Zach Nunn here to a no-holds-barred wrestling match. Loser leaves the ballot. And looks like there's only one guy here. He's taking selfies, he's Snapchatting. Go find him. Just at least give a yes or no answer, that's all I ask. I got this band playing for me, so that's nice. So a couple people that Zach Nunn knows. Let's address the elephant in the open air state fair. A couple people that he knows a few days ago walked into the Secretary of State office to challenge my ballot access. What this means is the auditor, the attorney general, and the Secretary of State will be forced to sit in a room with me and waste their time and taxpayer money explaining to the Iowa GOP how their rules work. It's my understanding that they have 2 days to schedule this or else it's dropped. Please fact check me on this. I'm from the media. I love fact checking. So let's get on top of that. And the thing that really, I don't mind, I think it's great that you can challenge people's ballot access. That's how laws should work. We should be able to make sure the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. But the thing they could have done is just walked up to me and talked to me like an Iowan and an American and a neighbor, and I could have explained to them exactly what we did. If you might remember, she said that I ran for a couple things before. I was the lieutenant governor candidate when we, for the first time in history, earned major party status. We have a 3-party system. Did you know that? And the cycle before that, we did this exact same thing, and I ran for attorney general. One would hope that I would know how this stuff works, and all I ask is that they just come talk to me about it. That'd be, if you want to save taxpayers money, and you want to not waste the auditor's time, not waste the Secretary of State's time, not waste Attorney General's time, you can withdraw actually this objection and you can save time and money. When Zach was up here, he did say a few things. He didn't take any questions, but he did give some fake news about fentanyl, which is near and dear to my heart, saving people's lives from drug overdose. Zach Nunn fear-mongered that immigrants were bringing in all this damn fentanyl and they were carrying it, and them damn immigrants brought in all the fentanyl and killed our beautiful white Iowans. No, the fentanyl comes through legal ports of entry. Fact check this, please. I know the media is paying attention. The fentanyl comes through legal ports of entry. Most people that are charged with fentanyl trafficking are American citizens born in America. And the way that we save lives, I've been campaigning on for my whole adult life. You have a safe supply, just like alcohol, that you can get right over here, that's just as dangerous as anything that anybody ever drinks. And then you can do drug safety testing. You can make that legal. Did you know that if you have a test kit for fentanyl, you can be charged with contraband? Oh my God, you're trying to be safe and not die. Let's lock you up. Send them to me, folks. Yeah, that's really stupid. And I talked to Tom Miller about that. And the cool thing is he actually listened. But then my dumbass weakened Tom Miller up for Brenna Bird, and then she took over and she didn't listen to a single thing I said. She said, let's make it harsher penalties on people for nonviolent drug use and nonviolent contraband. I can tell you something, contraband gets into our most secure places in America, so maybe that's not the problem. Maybe the problem is we should tell our law enforcement, who we're the boss of, to go after the violent people and the people that maybe are giving it to kids. Let's focus on that. But the people that are just trying to survive, maybe fight addiction battles, maybe just want pain relief, I've talked to Iowans. One guy was an electrician and he got severely electrocuted in constant pain. This is like hell for most people. And the only thing that helps him is constant fentanyl. And Brenna Bird's in there making it harder for people like that to get. Is that really what we're trying to do here? I'm flabbergasted, honestly. So yeah, when they give me that meeting with her, I hope she'll sit down with me like Tom Miller did. We actually kind of became friends, which is cool. Now, Zach Nunn said he was going to save Social Security. That's that epic Republican talking point. We're going to save Social Security. How many Republicans have you met that told you that? We're going to save Social Security, folks. Well, Zach, how are you going to do it? And is it going to cost more money, or it's just you're going to are you going to print the money? I don't know. I just like to have some follow-up questions. He didn't take any. Let's see. The other question I got is, what do you think about Thomas Massey's legislation to end the Fed? Thomas Massey told me that every GOP House member besides him has a handler. Zach Nunn is in the U.S. House. So either Zach Nunn has a handler acting on behalf of a foreign country, or Thomas Massey is a liar. And I just want to know which is which. Zach Nunn, why don't you share your photos with Zelensky with your supporters? They might want to see that. You keep that on the back, you keep that in your phone or whatever, show your family and friends, but you don't show your average voter that you got these photo ops with. What happens when a politician gets elected and then the election, it's supposed to be the next election, but they stay in office. What do they become? Well, I think dictator is one of the words some people use. And I remember when Jill Stein, she sat at a table with Putin, and that was supposedly election interference, folks. Oh my God, she sat at a table and had a conversation with Putin. It's not like JFK ever talked to the Russians or anything, or it's not like they came here and visited farms in Iowa. It's not like that ever happened. So yeah, if Jill Stein sitting at a table with Putin is news, then Zach Nunn doing photo ops with Zelensky should be news. That's all I'm saying. That just seems like good reporting, you know what I'm saying? Lanon Bakam, I only got a few questions for you. Where have you been, buddy? I have yet to see you anywhere. What do you think of ethanol? What do you think of eminent domain? What are your views on foreign policy? When are we going to go see some scientific polling and have some debates? So, I do have some endorsements that I like to talk about. In the last, few cycles, I've been endorsed by former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura, who knows how to take on the two-party system. been endorsed by a guy named William Weld. You might have to look him up. I mean, he's not very popular. And then Laura Ebke, who is actually a state senator from Nebraska. And what she did as a libertarian was pass occupational licensing reform, and she proved how a multi-party system can actually get something done. I hear a lot of lip service in this state for occupational licensing reform, but I don't see a lot of movement. So what's the holdup? Maybe we need some libertarians in office. Maybe it would get done. Okay, so Simon Conway, who does a show over here, we go way back. He always tells me, he always likes to harass me about crazy things that have happened at past libertarian conventions. Well, I'm going to have a talk with him the next time I go on about what happened at this Republican National Convention. Hulk Hogan, Kid Rock Karaoke, and J.D. Vance. What? The pukester, Kid Rock Karaoke? I don't envy J.D. Vance at his next press conference. I did not have sexual relations with that couch. I don't want to be that guy. But anyways, we're going to get down to business. We got town halls in every county in the district scheduled. I'm going to be actually campaigning, not just doing photo ops at like Democrat or Republican Party events. I'm going to be continuing to knock on doors. We've knocked on over 10,000 just since announcing. And shoot. Come and take it, by the way. I have friends and family that use cannabis as medicine, and it'd be a lot easier for them to get if the governor wasn't out here trying to rekindle the war on hemp, of all things. One thing that's really important to me is We Are a Nation of Immigrants is one of my favorite books. It's written by John F. Kennedy, introduction by Robert F. Kennedy. I don't know what happened to the son, but that would be pretty traumatic to have your dad and uncle get killed for just practicing politics. So we'll give them a break. Basically, I love my friends, my family. I love playing music with my band. I grew up here, grew up on the south side of Des Moines, or I grew up on the north side. Now I live with my family on the south side. And some things I'm passionate about are putting a stop to eminent domain abuse, ending the drug wars, ending the Federal Reserve, and making Congress actually do their jobs. And I think that from time to time, we have to get rid of some politicians' careers and get people that actually want to serve and take back our republic. So I know Nicholas Gluba wants to do that. He's on the city council in Lone Tree. He's a Marine veteran. This is the guy they're trying to keep off the ballot, a guy that won in city council as a known libertarian-minded fella. I'd like to see the credentials of anybody that really like put that to shame. So like, what are they doing? I think they're going after us like in the way that people think they're going after Trump. It's pretty absurd. I do have an endorsement that I want to tell you about. It's Donald Trumberlin. He's a farmer, and he just really doesn't want the governor to ram this eminent domain project through his farmland. I bet I scared you because you thought I was going to say Trump. But if none doesn't watch out, Trump is not dumb. He saw him palling around with DeSanctimonious. He's not that pleased. You see, he hasn't been in Iowa lately, so he's not that happy with Nunn and Reynolds because they latched off of his coattails and hooked it up to those long, tall white boots. And that DeSanctimonious character got their favor. And I don't know why or how, but politics are weird, man. Both these parties are just really weird to me. And all I care about is like liberty and justice and freedom. And I thought that's what politics used to be about. Like when my mom came here from Italy on a boat through Ellis Island, their family came here with a toddler for our Constitution and our Bill of Rights. And not enough of these people are fighting for those things. So when I saw that Zach Nunn had a chance to take on just the idea that we can just spy on any of us, any American citizens, they can spy on you without a warrant. He's probably listening right now. I hope he's listening right now. And all I wanted him to say was stand up off his seat and say, get a warrant. Like, let's do this the right way, folks. And he didn't do that. You know, when he was in college, he actually got in trouble because he was in student government and he spied on fellow student government with like a baby monitor. They reported that in the paper. So I trust our fine media here that they vetted that story, so I think it's accurate. And it seems like he hasn't learned that lesson yet. So yeah, you know, and like I said, I want to talk about Lanon Bakam too, but I haven't seen him anywhere. And I'm curious if he like was participating in this whole thing that happened at the DNC. I feel bad for, I really like Marianne Williamson and I really like Robert Kennedy Jr., like not so much for his views, but he just seems like a good guy with a good heart. He says, he's like your uncle that says crazy things about worms and dogs and bears. But I think it's in his blood to stand up and fight the power. So I can respect that. We should release the JFK files. We should have a transparent government that's friendly and not always talking crap about each other. And so when I was a kid, I liked this show. It was called The Toxic Crusaders. And this is actually, I think it was supposed to be the CEO of BlackRock. And this guy was Vanguard, I think, CEO. Oh, look, he's even got the guy that he's in a dress back there. And somewhere you got the Federal Reserve chairperson, I think. And then this is the good guy. He takes on the polluters. And this was the show I watched when I was a kid. So the one thing I want to get straight about libertarianism is it's don't hurt people and don't take their stuff. That doesn't matter if you have a badge or if you're the president or the governor or if you're in the Republican Party. Don't hurt people and don't take their stuff. Or if you're a farmer, you still can't just hurt people that live next to you. You can't like just spread your filth into their water and then it goes to other bodies of water and then it goes into the ocean and it makes a dead zone. Like that is hurting people and taking their stuff. It's basic property rights, which a lot of these people give lip service to. But the thing about rights is if you don't stand up for them, they don't exist. And I don't see enough people standing up for their rights. And you know, wake up and smell the corporate handouts all around you. Like this is, I know it's a weird venue to attack that, but I don't like corporate handouts either. You know, it's basically one group of people saying, I promise you, I will give you this, and they take that money from someone else, and then they give it to you. So what do we call that, you know, when we do that and we help poor people, and they have a problem with that, but they don't have a problem when someone named Grassley gets these handouts and enriches himself. They don't have a problem with that. Apparently those aren't handouts. I don't know. I'm a little perplexed at what they call that. But it's not handout, it's not welfare. Whatever that is, it's not that. So subsidies, oh yeah, I think that's a synonym for welfare. What up, man? Oh yeah, good to see you. So, you know, like I said, I got friends and family all over the district. I think these people are going to be a little shocked that they actually have some real competition, like someone that knows how government works. And I've been working for campaigns ever since I was a little kid. I volunteered at the VA hospital down the street from my house, and I recorded stories of veterans of the world wars for Congress, and none of them were happy with what our government was doing or the wars we were fighting. Not a single person. And that brought a young boy to tears. Like, these people fought in the real wars, not the wars for companies. They fought in like the defend our Bill of Rights, defend our way of life wars, and they were not happy with our politicians. And then they died because hardly any of them are around and we didn't listen to them. So I'm going to be a voice for that, for peace, prosperity, keeping people's money in District 3 in their wallets, in their bank accounts, in their district. Let's help people here before we promise anybody else any other money anywhere else. Let's cut spending, take on inflation. I'm sorry I was going to take questions, but I get a little passionate about this stuff. And let's have some darn debates and forums. Like, what are we doing? It's almost election time. I'm Marco Battaglia, www.marco4congress.com, the number 4. We got yard signs, t-shirts. We got a couple t-shirts, a fun one, a classy one. We got flyers, and I think we're going to surprise a lot of people, and I think they made a mistake. I thought the Republicans cared about democracy. Obviously, the Democrats didn't, because they didn't let Marianne Williamson or Robert Kennedy compete at their convention. I thought the Republicans cared, but obviously they don't, because they're challenging our ballot access. It's going to backfire on them, folks. And if they want to withdraw, like, come shake my hand, and I'll tell you what we actually did. And maybe you'll learn something about the way our governance works.